Hey everyone, it's Jessica Edwards in Wilmington, North Carolina. So I've had this come up a couple of times recently, personal property in a real estate sale. So I've had a couple deals recently where people have negotiated personal property or wanted to negotiate personal property into the transaction. And what I mean by that is the buyer is asking for personal property items. So items like a washer dryer, paintings, maybe the sofa, or any kind of personal property, things like that, any kind of things that are not fixtures or not included with the house typically. And so what can happen, a lot of TVs sometimes people will ask for, and sometimes sellers don't care about the things people ask for. It's totally fine, not a big deal. Sometimes the buyers don't really care. They're just adding extra stuff to see what the seller says. We usually tell our buyers to keep your offer as clean as possible and to shoot for the items that are most important to you. So if that stuff is the most important to you, then go for that. If you'd rather pay a little bit more but have that stuff, then great. But if price is most important, or some part of the terms or closing date or whatever it is that you really need to negotiate out, then go for those things and don't fill it with a bunch of stuff like personal property that you may not really care about. To a seller, if you don't care about those things, it may be a way to get a higher price by including those things if the buyer is interested in it or the buyer wants it. But sometimes sellers are very particular about their things. We all are, and there's some things that sellers are not willing to include. And buyers, I think, need to understand that that's not always a negotiation tool that you can use. So I think that as a buyer, you need to be prepared that you can't always ask for that personal property. The washer dryer is not always going to stay. They're not always going to be willing to leave it. Yes, a lot of times people will, but the price may need to reflect that. And so that's just a really important thing when you're thinking about negotiating. And I think sellers, don't be offended if somebody wants your stuff per se. They love your house, and it's a good thing that they like your things, they feel good with your things in your home, and they want to keep some of those things. So I think it's more of a compliment. Don't get offended if somebody's really caught up on stuff. But I think we all need to sort of remember to keep it as clean as possible and to go for the things that are most important to you. So anyways, just wanted to chat about personal property since it's come up a couple of times. If you have any thoughts or comments or questions, please feel free to email me at jessicaedwards@seacoastrealty.com. And of course, you can always check us out at thecarolinasfinest.com. Thanks so much for listening. Have a wonderful day.